Welcome back to the Business Book Club, where we explore the world's best business and leadership books and turn them into lessons you can use straight away. Today, we're diving into The Culture Code by Daniel Coyle, a brilliant exploration of what makes some groups perform at extraordinary levels while others struggle, even with the same talent and resources. From Navy SEAL teams and Pixar to Google and the San Antonio Spurs, Coyle spent years studying high-performing cultures. What he found wasn't charisma, luck, or even strategy. It was something deeper, the invisible behaviors that create belonging, trust, and purpose. The book centers on 3 core skills that define successful cultures: building safety, sharing vulnerability, and establishing purpose. Let's break them down. The first is building safety. Great cultures don't happen by accident. They're designed through thousands of small cues that signal, you belong here. Safety isn't about comfort, it's about connection. It's what allows people to take risks, share ideas, and admit mistakes without fear. Coyle uses examples from the US Navy SEALs and a school in New York called Intergroup Relations, where people talk openly about identity and conflict. In both cases, safety is built by consistent signals, eye contact, listening, small acknowledgements that say you're valued. It's the difference between teams that survive and teams that thrive. He also highlights Pixar's famous brain trust meetings, where directors and producers critique each other's work in brutally honest but deeply respectful ways. The feedback can be tough, but the environment feels safe because everyone knows the goal: to make the movie better, not to attack the person. The second skill is sharing vulnerability. This one often surprises people. We tend to think strong leaders must appear certain and confident, but Coyle found that the opposite is true. Vulnerability builds trust faster than perfection ever could. In high-performing groups, leaders are the first to admit when they're wrong, to ask for help, or to say, "I don't know." This creates psychological permission for others to do the same. Vulnerability isn't weakness, it's the foundation of collaboration. Think about the difference between a manager who hides behind authority and one who says, "I need your input, I trust your judgment." One builds walls, the other builds bridges. Coyle calls this vulnerability looping, when one act of openness sparks another, creating a ripple of honesty and learning. The third skill is establishing purpose. Once safety and trust are in place, teams need a shared story, a reason why they exist. Purpose gives meaning to the hard work and keeps people aligned when things get tough. At Pixar, purpose is expressed through a simple phrase: "We make movies that last for generations." At Zappos, it's delivering happiness. These clear, repeatable messages create direction. People know what they're part of and why it matters. Coyle explains that great cultures repeat their purpose constantly. It's not written on the wall once, it's woven into every conversation, meeting, and ritual. Purpose becomes a drumbeat that sets rhythm and energy for everything else. So how can we apply these lessons to our own teams and organizations? Start with belonging cues. Small actions that tell people they matter. Ask genuine questions, listen fully, recognize effort, not just results. These micro moments compound into trust. Then model vulnerability. Be the first to share, the first to own mistakes, and the first to ask for feedback. You'll notice others begin to mirror that openness. It takes courage, but it transforms culture faster than any incentive scheme. Finally, reinforce purpose every day. Talk about the why as much as the what. Connect daily tasks to bigger meaning. People don't get tired of hearing purpose. They get tired when they forget it. Coyle's message is that culture isn't soft. It's strategic. It's the invisible engine that determines whether your people feel engaged or disconnected, whether they show up to comply or to contribute. He reminds us that you can't demand trust, creativity, or loyalty. You have to design for them. When leaders create safety, show vulnerability, and anchor purpose, performance becomes a natural outcome, not a forced one. And just like in the book's examples, from Pixar to Navy SEALs, you don't need huge resources to build a great culture. You need awareness, humility, and consistency. So what can we take away from the culture code? 1. Belonging builds performance. People do their best work when they feel safe and seen. Connection is the foundation of excellence. 2. Vulnerability creates trust. Strong leaders go first in showing honesty, humility, and curiosity. It gives others permission to do the same. 3. Purpose unites people. A clear, repeated, inspiring mission gives energy and direction to every action. 4. Small cues create big change. Culture isn't built in off-sites. It's built in daily interactions that signal care and clarity. 5. Culture is a choice. You don't find great culture. You build it one conversation at a time. Daniel Coyle. The Culture Code isn't just a book about teamwork. It's a manual for leadership in the modern world. One where empathy, trust, and belonging are the real competitive advantages. So, as you lead your team or shape your business, remember, culture isn't what you say, it's what you signal. And remember to listen more than you speak and care louder than you lead. That's it for The Culture Code by Daniel Coyle. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.